This is the safest shelter. In response to the increasingly severe low temperatures, men rely on only some simple tools. In addition to the existing log resources in the surrounding area, the shelter was built 2.5 meters underground. The interior space is large enough to accommodate one person and one dog. There's also a warm fireplace to keep out the cold. Let him live here every day. It was warm as spring. Siberia has entered its coldest period in November. Kyle plans to arrive before the first snowfall. Build a shelter that can accommodate all needs. Get through this long, cold winter safely. After some searching, he eventually stopped in front of a spacious, open space. The terrain here is high. No need to worry about water accumulation. Snow is an excellent location to build a shelter. Hire immediately took action. First, clear away the messy branches on the side. Then he picked up a shovel and began digging downwards. Thanks to the relatively loose soil here, digging was not as difficult as I had imagined. After digging to the ideal depth, Carl was somewhat tired from working continuously. I sat on the ground and rested for a while. After rest, he got up again. Head to the nearby jungle to gather the stuff needed for the setup. After being moved back to the shelter, first, place them around the edge of the foundation. Then the corresponding pits were dug. The sturdy logs were placed into the pit one by one and secured as the main load-bearing structure of the wooden house. Immediately afterwards, Kyle took out the plastic bag he was carrying from his backpack. A thin film was laid on the walls around the pit. This way, when setting up the circular screen online later, this can effectively prevent the rise of underground seep. Keep the house dry. Comfortable living environment. At the same time, he also deliberately stood on one side. The wall has been reserved for the fireplace. After the wind read the last wall, the space for the entrance door is still reserved. Kyle split the sawn log in half. The pieces are assembled together to form a door panel. The size also fits the doorway perfectly. Next, secure the hinge on one side. Connect well with the door frame. Finally, install scissor handles on the door panel. Make daily entry and exit more convenient. After finishing these tasks, he returned inside. Use the remaining logs. Start setting up the beds for rest. After the bed is set up, he then headed towards the fireplace that had been reserved beforehand. Continue digging inward. Little by little, dig out the space needed for the furnace. At the same time, in order to ensure good air circulation indoors, he also dug out a smoke vent next to it. Connect it to the furnace. Allow the smoke to escape smoothly. Everything is ready. The next step is to build the roof. Carl first painted on the front and back walls. Cut out the groove. The colorful wooden stakes are fixed in the grooves as a support point for the roof. Next, the main beam was placed in place, centered on this. The remaining logs were then laid out on both sides in sequence, rocks sealing the roof. Casually put the roof. Seal the gaps where it connects to the wall. To meet the dual requirements of rain protection and heat insulation, Kyle first laid a layer of rainproof film on the roof. Next, the soil accumulated from the previously excavated pit chamber was removed. Evenly cover it. It served a fixing function. It can also utilize the heat insulation properties of soil. Enhance indoor insulation. After the roof was finished, Kyle sets off again. Collect pine needles in the nearby pine forest. During the process, they also unexpectedly found a piece of old iron leg. I figured it would definitely come in handy. They were then taken back to the shelter. Back inside, he spread the collected pine needles evenly on a bedboard and on the ground. The leaves have their own fragrance. It can not only effectively improve indoor air quality, it can also prevent moisture from seeping from the ground. And that old iron bucket. He was fixed above the smoke exhaust vent. Act as a scallion cutter. Considering the safety and seclusion of living in the wild, Kyle also collected a large number of fallen leaves in the surrounding area. Sprinkle evenly on the roof and around the shelter. To make the entire building blend perfectly with its surroundings. It is almost imperceptible from a distance. For the gaps between logs, the fetus was filled one by one with fresh lichen. Effectively prevents cold wind from entering the house. After completing the external ceiling, he went back inside, filled the fireplace with dry wood. The flames slowly rose after being lit. The smoke drifted slowly into the woods through the exhaust vent. The temperature inside the room gradually rose. To make the spacious room have more practical furniture, he took out the prepared wooden plank from his backpack. A small table was installed on one of the walls. It can be folded when not in use. It will not affect the event at all. Busy for most of the day, the baby's belly was already growling with hunger. He took out the ingredients he had brought from his backpack. By the light of the fireplace, we began preparing dinner. Fragrant large meat skewers, paired with refreshing side dishes. A sumptuous dinner was then completed. After finishing his meal, Carl got up and went outside. Chop some dry firewood as backup firewood for heating at night. Back inside, he sat around the warm fireplace. Brew a cup of hot tea. Feeling the warmth inside the house, the fatigue of the day slowly crept into my heart. Sleepiness gradually grew stronger. Kyle dragged his tired body back to bed. In the dim light and warmth of the fireplace, this busy yet fulfilling day has come to an end.